The click of the door lock didn't make Zhao flinch anymore. Casper stood just inside the room and the door locked behind him. Lips pursed and nose wrinkling, Casper looked up at him through the curly hair hanging in his eyes, which was a feat as he was 3 inches taller than Zhao. No kneeling? No kneeling, Zhao confirmed. So, Zhao, not Master, Sir Officer Sweat, or anything like that. You got it. And I'm not going to call you pet, hole, or anything like that. Casper heaved a sigh. Shame. I quite like being a pet. He cocked his head. And you don't get that at all, do you? No, I really don't. It's, He tapped his full lower lip with a finger. Relaxing. Zhao blinked. How can being beaten be relaxing? To Zhao's surprise, Casper wandered over to the table and picked up an apple from the fruit bowl Giallo had delivered earlier. Do you mind? I missed breakfast and... He frowned. When was the last time you ate? Casper shrugged and took a bite. Zhao had to work to tear his gaze away from the dribble of juice on Casper's lip as the man licked it off. Casper carried on talking as he waved the apple. Can't remember. Things get a bit foggy and I lose time sometimes. Master keeps an eye, though. He grinned. Haven't starved to death yet. Well, I can keep an eye on that now we're in here together. I assume we'll get fed regularly. Do you often lose time? Zhao kept his inquiry as light as possible. The difference between the relaxed, chatty man he faced now and the subdued, silent, bewildered individual of a few minutes ago was stark. Having rapid mood swings was one thing, but this... Casper seemed like a different person. I zone out quite a bit when I'm in pet mode. When you're beaten unconscious, you mean? Casper put the rest of the apple down. This is why I like being a pet. No choices, no decisions, no judgments. Serve and obey, nothing else. He paced across the room, and Zhao couldn't help remembering what lay beneath the navy blue bathrobe. I get orders, I perform. I don't make mistakes. If I'd been a pet in the gym, I wouldn't have spoken to you or Jamaica. As he spoke, he wrapped a hand around the opposite bandaged wrist and twisted. Casper, stop it. The curly head shot up. What? Zhao pointed to his wrist. Casper looked down as if he had no idea he'd been hurting himself. Oh, right. Sorry, you don't like marks, do you? Zhao rubbed a finger over his eyebrow. He wasn't cut out for this. He did the saving. Other people, professionals, who knew what they were doing, looked after the traumatized victims. That's not the point, he said. The confusion on Casper's face depressed him. Don't worry about it. We can talk about it later. Finish your food. Having an instruction seemed to settle Casper, and he hurried back over to the table. He glanced at the chair, then up at Zhao. Do you mind if I kneel? I can sit or stand if you'd rather, but... Zhao couldn't help it. He enveloped the poor, confused man in a gentle hug. What I want is for you to do what makes you feel comfortable. What you want to do, and what you enjoy. I want to know you, not the thing Vladimir created. Casper leaned in, as if he needed the affection more than the food on the table. Maybe he did. I don't know who that is. Zhao rubbed his upper arm because he didn't know where else he could touch Casper without causing more pain. We'll work it out. Okay? Casper nodded, his cheek rubbing against the side of Zhao's head. The cheek with the bruise Vladimir had given him. Zhao pulled away, managed a smile he didn't feel. Try not to hurt yourself anymore. Casper's mouth opened, then closed. Go on, you can say whatever it is. I want to know what you think, remember? I like it. The pain, that is. It helps to get things quiet. He tapped his temple. In here, you know? The question. Have you ever seen a psychiatrist died on Zhao's lips? Of course Casper hadn't. Okay. Do you think you can let me know when things are getting loud so we can work it out without causing any more injuries? Casper frowned.